Hey, welcome back to YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. You've probably been on YouTube for a while watching videos, so welcome back to YouTube was probably a really weird way to say that, but I'm weird, so here we go. It's me, Alex, here with Coco and Melanin to yap some more and tell you some things. Today I am outside, as I have often been. So actually recently in more of my videos that I've been posting, I've been like in my office, but today, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. There's a cardinal. It's a male cardinal and he's so red. He's in my yard. I want to turn to like show you guys, but like I just feel like if I do it, he's gonna fly away. Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you, Cardinal. Thank you for visiting me. I'm obsessed with birds. You know, your typical spiritual journey, birds follow me, nature responds to me. It's pretty cool. I like it. And now there's two mockingbirds fighting above. I don't know if you guys were able to see that. Whatever. 1, 2, 3 on the clock. Oh my God. Okay. You know what? There are always really beautiful things about being outside. I get to see beautiful things. There's a plane going overhead. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Um, you know what they say, cardinals are passed over loved ones coming to say hello and give messages. Red is really significant for me, maybe for somebody else. Excuse me. Cardinals. Seeing cardinals might be significant for someone. I see them not all the time, but I see them a lot. And I get really excited whenever I see them. So, excuse my nerding. I nerd out about birds all the time. Like, I see so many crazy, interesting birds. And, like, they do wild things around me. Like, I had a crow fly, like, so close to my head this morning. So I just get really like excited whenever that happens. Wearing my favorite Big T again. Love this t-shirt. It's my favorite. I wash it like 3 times a week just so that I can wear it all the time. I think I'm just kind of avoiding actually going shopping for clothes because I'm just scared. You know, I've had a baby. I've gained weight. I've been doing really good on like my fitness journey recently. Like I've been working out, going to the gym again today. Um, I've been eating better and stuff. So I've been really self-conscious about myself physically. And today's video, that actually segues perfectly into the topic of today's videos, which is something that I got by watching someone else's video. If you guys know anything about Connie on TikTok, she does these, I'm trying to remember her handle and I can't remember it. I'm gonna try to remember it and like link it in there because I would hate to be somebody who steals somebody's message, which I'm not necessarily stealing. It's more so what I got out of the message for myself, that I'm, you know, sharing with you guys. But I also, again, give credit where credit is due. Give energy where energy is given. Um, give energy where energy is taken. Sorry. So sorry, I've been a little congested lately. Life has been nice. It's also been a little rough, but you know, we've had some recent mindset changes, so we're fixing it, we're working it, we're getting it together. Change is the only constant in the universe, so life is never static. It always has the ability to change. And I am specifically learning that changing from the inside is what changes the outside. And there goes a murder of crows. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. There goes a murder of crows. So I don't know if you guys just saw the 6 crows that just flew in formation behind me. But again, I just notice shit like this. And if you think it's woo woo, if you think it doesn't make any sense, 5:11 on the clock, murder of crows just flew again. I get it. Also, just saw 5:15. And I'm pretty sure all of these numbers are like for me. They may be for you too, but I'm pretty sure they're for me. Um, if you think stuff like that is like woo woo, this is probably not the channel for you because I am very, very woo woo. You will get woo woo here. So I understand that everybody has different capacities for woo woo. So pay attention to your limits. 544. Um, yeah, the topic of today's video, sorry, I have ADHD and I had to like recalibrate my brain cells to remember what I'm here to do. I watched a video by Connie on a TikTok, and I love her messages because she like, I love readers and channelers that like do messages from a point of like shadow work and like knowing yourself. And it's not like, I can't stand readers that are just like, oh my god, you're gonna be famous tomorrow, you're gonna get $1 million. And that's not to say that I don't believe that I'm gonna get $1 million. I just think that though the way that they give those messages is really misleading and like contributes to the idea that like people think that like a lot of this is just like fake or whatever. It contributes to shit like that and I hate it. um so towards um towards the end of her message she mentioned something that really like hit home for me because it's like she mentioned like the energy, something about like me being like sneaky, not like in a like, ooh, I'm sneaking around like a little Sims burglar. um More so like trying to trick the system, like trick reality into changing for me by like just being endlessly positive or being endlessly protective of myself, um and trying to eradicate the parts of me that are just like, yo, what the actual is this? Because there are parts of me that throughout this process have just been kind of like, yo, what the actual is this shit? Like, you expect me to do what now? You expect me to trust whom with no information? You expect me to do what? And like, this entire time I've had like this kind of mindset of like, I need to eradicate that part of me because like that part of me is like really fucking with like my journey. Like, it's really screwing me up. I mean, in a way that's true. But she explained something that was actually pretty triggering, but in a very, I'm sitting with the trigger kind of way. um, and I've recently been a lot better at doing that. It's like I've always had an air of emotional intelligence, but if there's one thing about a spiritual journey, what it does to you is that it will take you through increasingly difficult situations over and over and over again for the sake of refining your skills. So it's like you could start a spiritual journey and be like hella emotionally intelligent. And then like you'll hit a situation that will cause you to do something that you already do, but like on a deeper level. And it triggers you to the end of the fucking earth. Like triggers you into the fucking shadow realms. I've had that happen to me on this journey so many fucking times. I so many fucking times has a situation in life literally triggered me into the depths of the shadow realm. Like, Yusuke, you're a meshi. Like literally just like triggered me into the depths of like my shadow. Like, it is the one thing about a spiritual journey is that like if you think you've healed something, the universe always says bet. And there she goes to confirm. Literally, if you think you have alchemized something, if you think you have let something go, if you think you have defeated something, mastered anything, the universe says bet every single time. Oh, and I just cannot explain how exhausting that is. Oh my god, it is so exhausting. Like this laugh is coming from like true, real, like lived experience. Like I swear, I am not just like throwing out hoo ha here. I am not just throwing out woo woo. This is like real, lived, serious experience. And I don't say that to say that like those experiences did not hone my skills, because they did. They honed my skills. They have turned me into a person that is able to sit with a trigger and my heart rate doesn't even spike. And if it does, it's for just a second. And I'm able to bring myself back to homeostasis and be like, yo, let's just sit with it. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to analyze it. Just let it sit. Because one thing that I've learned is that like sometimes you just let something sit and it reveals shit to you. And I sound really fucking stupid saying that. I don't know why that just made me feel like I'm like a fucking preacher on a pulpit. And I promise I'm not. I am a regular ass, whimsical black girl in her backyard yapping about things that I have been through to you on the internet. Please. Sometimes I am still struggling. There is still a part of me that's still struggling to feel like even have the ability to say any of the sorry. That was probably gross, but you know, it happens. Um, yeah, like there's still a part of me that really struggles with like feeling like I have anything real or important to say. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Sometimes the energy just comes up. It just does stuff like that. Um, and like even now, like that's just came up. Like, how do you know that wasn't just a burp? You haven't eaten anything. You're hungry. You could have just burped because you're hungry. Does anyone else do that? Is that just me? Because that happens to me all the time. Like especially when I'm really hungry, I just like burp endlessly until I eat something. It's so annoying. Um, and I mean, like, it's important to know, like, the difference or whatever. I'm still learning how to feel into the energy of my body. So that's why I always say, like, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I would rather you ignore something that I say than take it as law. Because, girl, I'm still learning. And if you're not a girl, I'm sorry. I say that a lot. Child, fellow weirdo. Because, I mean, like, if you're watching me, I expect certain things. I expect that you're probably a weirdo or female. And I don't mean that in like a exclusion words exclusion sort of way. If you identify as female, then you are female over here, and that's just how that works. So let that be what that is. Um, but yeah, like I've learned that like if you sit with something, if you just let it cook a little bit like inside of you, let it gestate, let it seep, let it simmer a little bit, you end up realizing, you end up learning something from it, and that doesn't always happen immediately. I feel like in this moment, what I've learned from that is like I wrote down this specific like phrase from the video, and like this was maybe it was something she like said word for word, but like I don't think it was. Excuse me. I wrote down alchemize the shadow into something useful. And she did say that. She did say that. She said it like a bunch actually. Um, and I like wrote that down because it was like that part. Like it it was like the part in the message that like I could hold on to that didn't trigger me. Or not necessarily that it didn't trigger me, but that like it calmed down the trigger. Like it was the phrase that started the trigger, but now it calms it in a way. And I don't really know how to further explain that except that I would have to know why I was initially triggered by that statement. And I think honestly, what it got down to is that, like, how I'm used to dealing with things. And okay, sirens. Okay, sirens. um, sorry, I just noticed like heavy sirens in the background. Um, So I just like, words. See, I'm like, ADHD is so annoying sometimes, especially when it's unmedicated. Like somebody could snap and you'll be like, "Hi, I'm Tom." Like, like it just resets all of your brain cells. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, like she was saying that, like, I, throughout this healing journey, something that I have, been very notorious about doing is I've been healing for years. I've been in therapy since I was like 18 or 19. Um, and that's a long time to be in therapy. Now I have a lot of trauma. I haven't actually like really gone into depth about like my experiences and my story. And I'm reluctant to, but I know I have to do it at some point. And I know that was a confirmation burp. Spirit's like, share your story. Say it. Say the thing. And I will. I will. I don't know if it's going to be this video. Maybe it'll be another video. Maybe it'll be like a separate one. Who knows? But if that's anything that anybody is interested in, that'll definitely be something coming. Because Spirit's not going to let me off the hook with that one. And I got no choice but to comply with her wishes. So, yeah, I think the statement triggered me because, like, throughout this entire healing journey, throughout my entire healing journey, one feeling, one thought that has always been pervasive throughout healing for me is that there was always something wrong with me, and that in order to heal, I have to get rid of all of the things that are bad within me. I have to get rid of all of those bad things. Hold on, I'm kind of sitting with that statement, letting that out a little bit. That's I feel like that's just been like something that's been pervasive throughout my healing journey. Is that I've just always felt like, oh wow, you can see that scar. Oh, the camera, you can see everything. I hate it. I have always thought that there is something wrong with me. I have always thought that in order to heal, that I had to get rid of every bad thing that existed inside of me. Every little bad thing. So that I could be perfect. So that I could be worthy of something. Worthy of anything that I'm asking for. And it's always funny to like, hear how like cyclical things are. Like how they come back around. Like something, again, like whenever you think you have healed something, the universe says bet. That's going to be my new catchphrase. Whenever you think you healed something, there goes a crow. The universe says bet. We'll see about that. Perhaps we might go into a deeper level. There have been times throughout this spiritual journey that I've literally like been like, I am in the ninth ring of hell. And that, until this moment, I thought was just like me being creatively like, negative, because I am very creative and I can be creative in any direction, Um, I'm sorry, I really just got thrown off by a message that I had with by a message that I just got, that really threw me off. Another ADHD brain swipe. It also kind of triggered me a little bit. I'm feeling it in the pit of my stomach, like, oh. Anyway, like the situations of life are ongoing, but we stay calm, we stay centered, and we allow ourselves to feel what we feel, because it just is the truth. Um, because we must. Because feelings are feelings, and that's part of being sensitive. Being sensitive, you don't just get sensitive to like the good stuff. You get sensitive to like the really bad stuff too. Like you have to feel all of it. And in my life, I have a lot of experience with feeling the bad parts. Don't worry, I've got more than enough experience to talk about it for sure. I could talk for days, for years probably, and I will. Um, yeah, like I would say that, and like I would just think that I was being creatively negative, but like now I'm hearing it and I'm just like, no, everything in life is cyclical. And every shadow aspect of ourselves, we can get deeper and deeper and deeper. Like each ring is just you going deeper and deeper into your shadow and getting to like the bottom of it. And that is a beautiful thing, I think, um, you know, for us to be able to do. Um, it doesn't feel beautiful like while you're doing it, so like don't get those two mixed up. It being beautiful is the fact that we as human beings have the ability to get to a point where we can see that, you know, I don't have to get rid of every bad part of me. The bad parts of me can be used for good. Um, every shadow has its light, and maybe that light is me hopping on a camera and telling people that I feel that way, that it, stepping into the unknown and doing things without a plan is absolutely fucking terrifying. And it will bring up every fear that you ever thought you had and a million more that you didn't know you had. And they will all be connected in a zigzag formation that you couldn't follow with a finger on a piece of paper if you tried. Um, but the end result of like being able to work through all of that and being able to alchemize that will be something beautiful. It will be a beautiful experience. It will not feel that way in the moment, and you just gotta let that ride. I'm learning you just gotta let shit ride sometimes. Because like right now I've been working a lot on like my mindset and like staying, not letting shit get to me, being a little more detached, which is hard for me because I'm very emotional and I'm very sensitive. So I'm very in there. I'm very zoomed in all the time. So, spirit taking my head and going, look out. And I'm just like, and spirit is like, no, look out. And I'm like, and then spirit's like, no. And now I feel like I'm kind of getting a handle on being able to like zoom out, and be like, okay, all right, I'm reluctant to see this, but I see it. And then it's like once you see it, the reluctance starts to dissipate. Um, I feel like my reluctance comes from issues with authority figures, and not issues with authority figures in the way of like, I'm a rebel, blah blah blah, which kind of, in a way, kind of. But mine more so stems from having authority figures that were actually just really fucked up people, um, who did really messed up things to me, gaslit me, lied to me, treated me terribly, um, had some kind of narcissistic kind of qualities or whatever. And like, I say qualities because, qualities of narcissism are not exclusive to narcissism. Like we can all experience qualities like that. I have experienced qualities like that. And there's levels to this shit. So it's not like, everything is a spectrum. And I hate when people act like everything is just like, black and white. It's not. The world is gray as fuck. As you can see with the sky today. The world is gray as fuck. Black and white are blips. They're blips on the spectrum. Um, the whole the whole spectrum is gray, and then you got that one part that's black and then that one part that's white. Like I promise you, they're blips on the scale, to be honest. But like for real, in real time, like I have had like experiences with authority that have been so negative and so like traumatizing to me that my fear and reluctance to trust or want authority does not come from a need to be rebellious for the sake of rebellion. It comes from a need of not being swallowed up by people who smother you, like who will not like. I've had authority figures that have, and I'm saying it like this because I'm trying not to talk about specific people, and I can already feel like that's like, just say it. You're beating around it, and you just need to say it, and that's really annoying. Oh, fuck it. So, like, my dad. Um, I grew up with my dad, and my dad is my first authority figure. Your parents are your first authority figures. They are the people who teach you what authority looks like, what authority feels like, what the responsibility of authority is. And my dad used his authority to snuff out everything that made me me. He used that authority to manipulate, to gaslight, um, to infantilize me while also enriching me with experience and responsibility that was far beyond my station at that age, at any age of a child. Um, but adding like, it's it's so weird to like actually like try to like put into words what it is like to experience someone who does not allow you to feel, to think, to express, to do all of the things that a human being does naturally. Somebody who snuffs out your voice and replaces it with just their own projections and fears and anger and trauma. It kind of like, and just like gaslights you out of everything that you know to be true. And like I say this because people have this idea about children that they don't have any, that they don't have personal truths, that they don't have values, they don't have things that are important to them. Each of us is our own person. We all come into this life with a blueprint for who we are. Like, just because you are someone's parent does not mean that you are there to fill them up with all of your shit. They come full already. They come full already. And that's even a revelation for me in my parenting with my daughter. They come full already. They come here as full people. And I think so much of parenting has been about parents stuffing children full of their shit and ripping out everything that's there. It's like you bought a teddy bear and you cut it open and you ripped out all of the shit that was inside and you stuffed it with your stuff. You just stuffed it with you. And then we wonder why there's so many people who don't know themselves and so many people who just feel lost and confused and don't know what the fuck they're doing in life. And I mean, like, to an extent, the only constant in life is change. So to an extent, none of us know what we're doing and we're never gonna know, and that's got to be okay. But like, experiencing that sort of authority figure while also being given massive amounts of responsibility that was not yours to take on, it creates this sort of feeling towards authority that is like, I struggle to find words to like actually really like explain what that creates. Give me a second. It like creates this idea that it creates a hatred for authority. it creates a hatred, or at least in me, I'm speaking from my experience. 3003, mirror, mirroring, mirror numbers, sorry. It creates this idea of hatred towards authority, because the authority that created your baseline for what authority was, gave you the idea that authority was not to be trusted, that authority is not safe, that authority is something that you must rebel against with every fiber of your being if you are going to keep your individuality. If you are not going to be swallowed up by somebody else's opinions, by somebody else's thoughts, by somebody else's feelings, if you are going to remain sovereign in yourself. Murder of crows again. If you are going to remain sovereign within yourself, you must stay away from authority. You must distrust it, because authority is what stole you from yourself. Authority is what stole you. Authority is what stole me from myself. So I can't allow any person to have power over me. I cannot allow any person to have control over me. I cannot allow any person to exert authority over me, because that's what stole me from me. That's what ripped me the fuck apart. It's the initial sin. Sorry. It's the initial sin. Sorry, there's something else. There's some other, like, there's more, like, personal truths trying to, like, come up right now. And I'm just trying to give them space and let them. Because that moment felt very, like, that felt like me telling me something that I didn't know. Like I said, shadow work is fun. Um, it can be. But also, like, when healing starts to become fun, that's when it's time to stop. Like, okay, that's enough healing. It's time to embody. It's time to, like, you know, do new things. And, like, yeah, like I said, that's probably going to be a separate video, because that's going to be a long one. This is already a long one. We're at 33 minutes just for me to talk about alchemizing the shadow into something useful. So I don't even, like, fully remember, like, the point that that was even making. It's like I took you down the rabbit hole of, like, my ADHD thoughts and, like, where that was taking me. But, like, what is that bird? I see it all the time and I don't know what it is. I've been trying to figure it out for weeks. Um, but in any event, back to what I was saying. If I can remember what it was that I was saying. Um, like, the pervasive thought that, like, I have needed to get rid of those parts of me, like the parts of me that fear authority, fear becoming authority, fear having authority over me, fear of people telling me what to do. You know, all of those things are things that have come up on my healing journey, and I've had to, like, sometimes it's been like pulling teeth, you know, working with those parts of me. But it's like, I view alchemizing the shadow into something useful as being able to, after, now that I've, like, you know, allowed my trigger to sit and pass, I can see the statement for what it is. And it's something that says that, like, there's, like, this part in therapy where, like, they always tell you that, like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like therapists, like a good therapist will tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. And if you are a deeply traumatized person like myself, you'll spend years looking at therapists and going like, the fuck do you mean there's nothing wrong with me? Looking around at the office like, do you see where I am right now? Do you hear me speaking? Like, what do you mean there's nothing wrong with me? I'm here because there are many things wrong with me. And you'll spend years arguing that down. And, like, literally, as somebody who's been in therapy since they were 19 years old, off and on, not like straight, obviously, guys, let's calm down. And nobody has money for that, not in this economy. Um, one thing that I have learned and understood to be true is that I feel like I've realized here today and learned today is that, like, what that statement actually means. And it means that the parts of you that you hate the most are the real you. Like, they're the parts of you, like, they're a part of you. And getting rid of those parts of you would be, like, as Connie said in the video, abandoning yourself. Now, that part I'm still sitting with. I take it to kind of like feel like, to mean like, yeah, those parts of you are not like, perfect or the best, but they're still you. They're still like parts of who you are. They still make up who you are. And human beings are made up of shadow and light. You can't be all light. You can't be all shadow. Though I beg to differ on that last one. I don't know. There are some people in this world who have lived on this planet, and I have thought, is the light in the room with us? But that's neither here nor there. I do not have the ability to judge anybody. I'm just saying that I have seen some pretty messed up things in the world, and I've wondered if the light was in the room with us, um, for some of those things. But yeah, like, I think what it's given to me is that, like, I need to stop viewing my mindset changes as this, like, I'm gonna eradicate any part of me that, questions anything. Those parts of me are valid, like, manifestation bullshit aside. At the end of the day, because some of it is just kind of like just way too, woo woo. Not even like way too woo woo. It's just like unrealistic, and it's kind of like problematic with the way that people explain it. I think like the concepts are fine. It's just the way that people explain it is just kind of like toxic and like problematic for people. Um, so I feel like, in the sense, what I got out of that video and what I got from that understanding was just like, oh, sorry, scared the crap out of me. Um, was that instead of trying to eradicate the part of me that questions and has anxiety and feels scared, the point is to sit with that part of myself and let it teach me what it needs to teach me, and then use that to help others, and, like, find some way to show the light of that part of me, because the part of me that doubts and is scared and is confused and doesn't know what the hell to do, she's not evil. She's not an evil person. She's not some evil mastermind. She's not some horrible little gremlin sitting inside of me wanting to ruin everything that I have. She's a part of me that wants to protect me from being hurt, because she's seen me be hurt a lot. She has seen me through many situations that have been traumatic, painful, hurtful, horrible, terrible, and she wants to prevent those things, because, yeah, the life that we've created may not be the one that is best for us, but it's one that's ultimately kept us safe. It's kept us comfortable, you know? And as somebody who has never felt safe, who has never felt comfortable until more recently in my life, until more recently in my life, um, that's something that she wanted above anything else. Like, it's a sort of thing that like she would have given anything away for, anything, for to be comfortable, to be peaceful, to be safe, to feel fucking peace, because so much of her life has been chaotic and traumatic. And it's like, how can I be mad at her for that? How can I be mad at her for that? Like, how can I be mad at her for that? Like, why would I be mad at her for that? She's literally the only reason I'm here. She's literally the only reason that I've gotten to this level of healing and this level of understanding of myself. She is literally the only reason that I am here, because she loved herself enough to keep trying and to keep trying to figure it out. And she experienced the worst self-doubt, self-hate, lack of trust, the most disenfranchisement, disenfranchisement, the most like fragmentation of herself. And she lived life that way. She had to live life like being completely fragmented from herself, being in pieces, strewn all around, and having no idea how to put herself back together in fucking chaos. And like, how can I be mad at her for being fucking scared that I'm, seemingly breaking all of that away and like going off into something, and I can't even tell her what it is because I don't know. I'm walking this in real time. Like, I can't tell you what the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow. All I have is today. So I think there's this, you know, pervasive idea in, you know, spirituality about being positive. And I think the one thing that people forget to bring out is that, yeah, you have to be positive and believe that you are going somewhere better than where you have been. It is important to have that belief. But when the doubt and the fear is coming up, it can be hard to hold that vision. It can be hard to hold that. And not just hard, it can be damn right impossible. It can be downright impossible to do that. So it's like, I feel like the best that you can do in those moments is to just sit with that part of yourself and let them be scared. And you hold the vision. And I mean, like, it's not necessarily that I'm saying that, like, these are just pieces of me or whatever. Because, like, it's integrated. We're all one. But it's like, if you fart, it comes from your butt. That doesn't mean that your butt is not attached to you. It just means that it came from your butt. That's a terrible example, but that's the one that came up. I'm so silly. I'm sorry. I promise I'm hilarious. Um, yeah, like if you fart, it came from your ass, and your ass didn't suddenly fall off. So it's like, when it comes to noticing the part of myself where the fear or the doubt is coming from, it's not like about, it being separate. It's more about you being able to, you know, detach in a way that like allows you to see that, you know, I'm the higher self, like I'm the higher self to my lower self, like to that piece of me. Like, I'm the one on the outside. I'm the conscious one who's, able to hold the vision, while that part of me is like, yo, I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. And it's like, the being able to reassure yourself that like you are confident in where you are going, being able to remind yourself why you are doing things, what is the rationale behind it, what feelings sparked going on this journey, what feelings sparked putting you in this place. And sometimes you have to write it down. Sometimes you have to reinforce it, and you have to tell yourself over and over and over and over again. Um, because just should be hard. Um, and you forget. Like, you'll forget, especially if you have ADHD like me. You will forget so many times. You will forget a million times over. But these are just, I don't know, just ways I've been able to, like, you know, help myself. And I want to add in that, like, these are things that took, like, trial and error. And not just trial and error, it also took the hardest working spirit team this here side of the Mississippi. Because nobody's working anybody to the bone like I'm working my spirit team. I'm letting you know that right now. Like, which is why I also, like, really need to get, like, a good ass offering on my ancestor table, because look, shout out to my ancestors with my highest self in mind. Nobody is working them harder than me. And they have other charges. They got other family. They got other people to worry about. You know, other people to worry about. And it's like, child. I've since gotten a lot more patient and a lot more, like, you know, being able to just kind of sit in things without there needing to be like a sign every 30 seconds. You know, I go in and out of that. I've been real anxious this week, so I'm actually going to do a meditation after this, just to try to recenter myself and try to bring myself back into the slowness. Because another thing that resonated with me from that video with Connie, God, I wish I could remember her TikTok. I'm going to put it in the description though. What she, you know, reminded me of is that, like, you know, checking in with your body is exuberantly important to do. It's important to check in with yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. And I've been so focused on, like, you know, staying positive and staying light and not letting anything fuck with my self-worth, my, you know, self-trust, my self-love, um, that I've been so focused on that I haven't been paying attention to the fact that, like, I'm so hyper vigilant on that because I'm anxious that if I take my foot off the gas even a little bit, that I might fuck up my alignment. And that's another thing that, like, happens a lot on oh, sorry, I really had to stretch. I'm wearing shorts. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna flash you on the camera. I just had to stretch my legs. I worked out a couple days ago, and my calves, oh my God, my legs. Ooh, my legs, they are giving me a run for my money. I was fine for the first day, but, like, I was fine for about 24 hours. And then, like, now, maybe like 36 hours later, I'm like, those two white birds again. What kind of birds are you? I don't know what kind of birds you are, but I see you all the time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I told you about the birds. I get real distracted when it comes to the birds. um, the thing that happens a lot on the spiritual journey is, like, you know, the positivity thing, like the being afraid of, like, you know, getting out of alignment. And I think, like, at this point, something that I've heard before, you know, said in, like, other ways with other people is just, like, the thing about alignment is that you can feel when you're out of it. And, like, I'm still learning what that feels like, so, like, don't ask me. Excuse me, and there goes the sirens to confirm. Um, and I think I need to, like, release myself from, like, this hyper vigilant worry that, like, if I eat a strawberry the wrong way, something bad is gonna happen, because it's like, oh, and there goes my grandma with the white butterflies. um, you know, there are so many things about a spiritual journey that can send you into psychosis or just stop you from being able to relax. And like, Gizmo, go lay down. Why are you barking? You're barking at air. There's no dogs, there's nothing. Why are you barking? Oh dear. Um, yeah, and I think that creates like a baseline of anxiety that like is not always noticeable. Like, you can really trick yourself into thinking like, oh, I'm just keeping myself positive. No, you're being hyper vigilant. And as somebody who also has anxiety disorders and has a hard time, words, has been hyper vigilant throughout my life, um, yeah, noticing when I'm being hyper vigilant is something that I'm gonna have to start working on. So I mean, like, all in all, I think that video was just like really informative. It really helped me, you know, process some things. And thank you guys for being here, listening to me process these things. And I hope there was something in there for you too. Saw 1,000 angel numbers throughout this video, but felt like it was probably weird to just keep sitting here going, you know, like, here's a million, you know, angel numbers. I see a million of them throughout the day. They're different every day. Sometimes they're the same. But that doesn't mean that, you know, every one of them has, you know, anything to do with you guys. I just get excited when I see them. Um, and like, yeah, that's really it. That's really all I had to yap about. Obviously, I have more things to yap about. Um, but that was just, you know, what I had to yap about in this moment. And I haven't made a YouTube video in a while. And I'm trying to follow more of my, you know, internal nudges that are just like, huh, we should make a video about that. Huh, we should make a video about that. Huh, we should make a video about that. Like, you know, and actually just, you know, doing it. I have recently been thinking, like, you know, that I might actually, there's another idea that I guess has come to my mind, that I am hopefully going to be sharing with you guys. So look out for new things. Otherwise, really, thank you so much for sharing this space with me and letting me process my feelings and thoughts with you and yap in your face. Um, yeah. So I hope I will see you guys again in the next one for more yap adventures. And I'm probably going to call this video, I'm probably going to use that line in this video. So yeah, I will see you guys again soon with a fun topic of sorts, or just an emotional message about me being emotional. May we meet again. You guys have a good rest of your day. Enjoy life. Plant some milkweed for butterflies. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.